Plans for an early learning center move forward. Barnstable Police will get a boost from a total of 5 grants, and the town honors longtime employees during a special years of service ceremony. These stories and more on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Friday, December 5th, 2014. I'm Sarah Mantle. A public comment period is now open on the environmental notification form filed to the Massachusetts Environmental Protection Agency by the town in regards to the West Barnstable shooting range. Yesterday, Alex Strisky of MIPA toured the shooting range and a parcel of land on Breeds Hill. Assistant Town Manager Mark Ells briefed Town Council on the visit during last night's meeting.
The site visit was both here in this room for an overview of the ENF that was filed and why it was filed and what it contained. There are specific criteria that need to be addressed, and under this Article 97 land disposal issue, there are specific criteria that need to be included in the ENF for evaluation when they're considering this. We covered all of those items. I provided each of you with a copy of the overview that I gave. I'm also going to be submitting a little more detail because of the questions that came up during the meeting, and I'll give you a copy of that. We also recorded it today, at least the portion that was here, so if you want to view that, you can. And I think that took probably about an hour, I think, between the presentations and the comments that were made. We went from here to the Breeds Hill Road parcel to view that, and we took a walk around it, down to the wells to the east of the facility, and so they got a feeling for that upland wooded area that it is. And then we went to the shooting range and spent quite a bit of time walking around the shooting range and had a very good conversation with the individual. The public did attend. They attended both the meeting here and went to both sites. But I would also encourage that the public consider commenting on this, as well as each of you respectively or collectively if you decide to. And
the public is encouraged to comment on the ENF by December 15th. Details can be found online at town.barnstable.ma.us. A new early learning center will be built next year. Last night, Town Council approved additional funds to pay for the center. Speech and language pathologist Chris Garner works in the early learning program and thanked counselors for their support prior to the vote.
I think this is going to be a really, really important thing for us to be in one place and to provide the services to the children. We've kind of been scattered, and this year we've really been scattered, so it's going to be a really important thing. I think it's going to provide some excellent services for the children of Barnstable.
Town Council voted unanimously to approve those funds. Next up on the agenda was a request for an additional $172,000 to pay for design services at Hyannis West and Barnstable West Barnstable Elementary Schools. Superintendent of Schools Dr. Mary Schakowsky says that money is a necessary step.
This design funding is going to be monumental for beginning to look at, for the first time, removing these trailers that have been here for some time, 35 plus years. And we have many of our children that are educated in these spaces that are, as you can see, inappropriate. But I just want to thank the council for their thoughtful discussion on this. I know it's been, as Councilor Kennedy pointed out, a really collaborative effort of all of us coming together and having some difficult conversations because funding is tight, and we understand that. But the opportunity to now design and finally remove all the portables that remain was a goal, I think, of the school committee for quite some time now. So we appreciate your support of this funding.
And Town Council unanimously approved those funds as well. Town Council also gave the nod to 5 police department grants. Police Chief Paul McDonald was on hand during last night's meeting to talk about each grant. One such grant totaling $177,000 would pay for training dispatch personnel.
The police department applied for and was awarded the fiscal year 15 state 911 Department Training and Emergency Medical Dispatch Grant in the amount of $187,954 from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Executive Office of Public Safety and Security. This is relative to our role as a primary public safety answering point to fund the training and certification of enhanced 911 telecommunicators, including emergency medical dispatch. This current grant will fund the EMD training and certification of all new telecommunicators serving as dispatchers at the Barnstable Police Department. Acceptance of this grant will enable the department to fulfill their training obligations as a primary PSAP as required by laws that became effective on July 1st, 2012. Fiscal impact, this is a reimbursement grant for all training costs, materials, and overtime. There is no match required. All costs associated with this grant contract must be completed by June 30th, 2015.
The 4 other grants covered an underage alcohol enforcement award, a pedestrian and bicycle safety enforcement and equipment grant, and a Narcan first responder grant. Well, being prepared each winter for snow and ice removal in the town is a huge priority for the Department of Public Works. DPW Director Dan Santos requested Town Council pass an overdraft authorization in the event snow and ice removal surpass the allotted budget.
This is the department's annual visit for the purposes of asking for an overdraft authorization for the purposes of snow and ice removal. Massachusetts general law allows city or towns to spend in excess of their appropriation for snow and ice because it's not predictable. And what it allows is that those excesses and the overdrafts be addressed in the following year's budget. Our budget annually for the past recent history has been $600,000 a year. Last year we spent $2.6 million on snow removal in over 30 snow events.
Town Council unanimously approved the overdraft authorization for the snow and ice removal budget. Improvements are in the works for the Osterville Community Building and Osterville Bay Elementary School. Council approved spending an additional $10,000 for design work. Lynn Poyant, Director of Community Services, talked about the need for those additional funds.
In February of 2013, $32,000 was done through the Community Preservation Fund for site work on the Osterville Community Building parcel, which included the fields and the tennis court. It was determined that there needed to be a existing condition study for both the school and the community building. And that work has been done, based upon the results of that, the feeling is that we need to look at the entire parcel and not just that was with the community building. So we need additional funds in order to do that additional work.
And the measure to spend an additional $10,000 for design work for the Osterville Community Building and Osterville Bay Elementary School passed unanimously. Well, each year the town honors longtime employees and retirees during a years of service ceremony. This year the town honored nearly 100 employees for their service. Town engineer Steve Seymour retired this year after working for the town of Barnstable for 32 years.
It feels very satisfying. I love being here. One of my best days was when I got hired 32 years ago, and equaled by the retirement, which I'm very fortunate to be able to do. And I'm kind of living another life now. But I drive around the town when I do, go to the dump, whatever. I drive by things. I say, I remember when we built that sidewalk. I remember when we built this. I remember when the HYCC was going on. You know, and that is very rewarding to see that. That's why I liked working in the public sector and working for the people of the town of Barnstable.
And Director of Leisure Services Patty Machado was honored for her 30 years of service to the town of Barnstable.
I get to see people smile and be in a good place. Most of the time I don't have too many issues to have to deal with. It's just basically getting a lot of love back and forth, you know. We're very lucky to work in the town of Barnstable. Bottom line is the town of Barnstable, we care about the residents and the residents care about us, and I can't get enough of anybody's kids, so I appreciate anybody out there that lets me have any interaction with their young people.
Following that ceremony, honorees are given the rest of the afternoon off. Congratulations to all of those recognized. We'll be sure to tune in to our hour-long news program, Barnstable This Morning, weekdays at 7 a.m. On Monday's show, we will chat with Assistant Town Manager Mark Ells, Superintendent of Schools Dr. Mary Schakowsky, plus we'll have all the news and information you need. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mannel.